Good morning, good evening, good night. This is Maddy the Realty here with Premier Sotheby's coming to you from somewhere. There's a couple things that I actually wanted to cover today. What is going on with the market? I know there's been pretty volatile environment. Also, what's happening right now with prices? Is the market going to crash? And also, is the mortgage rate negotiable? So, thank you for joining me. Let's get started. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was as far as the market update. So clearly I haven't spoken my first day of speaking. Thank you very much. So there's actually been a decrease in mortgage applications. And what exactly does that mean? Well, because of the rise in interest rates right now, for a lot of people that are starting to come into the market, it's not looking as rosy as it once did. We have an increase in mortgage rates. What does that mean for the average buyer that's coming into the market? So just kind of wanted to keep it for easy math right here. But like, let's say you have a conventional loan and you're putting 20% down. Now I know that depending if it's a primary, you can go less than that, but let's just say 20% down at 250. So those of you guys might say, well, right now everything's at 350. Yes, that is true. But we're just trying to keep things simple here. So imagine 250, you have a conventional loan, 20% down at 5%. So this is where things started to change once it moved from the 3% environment to the 5% environment interest rate. So right now, your taxes and insurance, if there were $2,000 a piece per year, no HOA, 20% down, you're looking at a monthly mortgage of $1,406. So that's where we were and where we kind of hung out for a little bit of time. Right now, we're looking at about 8%. So imagine 8% at $250,000 for a conventional loan at 20% down, $2,000 for your taxes, $2,000 for insurance annually, no HOA. That $1,406 at 8% now goes up to $1,800. So you can imagine, and the reason I say no HOA is because those are harder and harder to come by. You know, when it comes to as Ocala in particular, as Central Florida continues to grow, you're seeing a lot of builders starting to come in, and a lot of them will have HOA environments. Now, for those of you guys that may be from out of town that don't quite know what an HOA is, it's a homeowners association, and they literally vary all over the board. I mean, you have homeowners associations that really they just cover the sunshine and the rain because they have a nice entrance. They'll maintain the entrance, but there's no gate, there's no clubhouse, no extra amenities that are offered within the community, and you'll see the HOA reflect that. Now you'll have others that will have the sun, the moon, and the stars, and obviously the HOA is going to create a swing in how much your monthly mortgage is going to be. So, or your monthly, I should say, what you have to pay on a monthly basis, right? Your monthly expenses. So this is what all the fuss is about right now. It's a big deal because you're talking about an environment when people are coming in from other areas that are looking to buy. That HOA, $100 a month might not be a whole lot to some people, but for some people, if they're on the top of whatever it is that they are able to afford, the HOA can, it could be a do or die situation when it comes to them actually being able to afford a price. So you're talking about a rise in this case of interest rates, which is basically means that the buyer is going to have less money at the end of the day. They're having to pay more. They have to pay more on a monthly, and depending on a person's debt to income ratio, depending on a lot of other factors, that is going to be a big deal. So obviously it makes it a little bit tougher. So what exactly does that mean as far as the environment is concerned? Well, obviously, we're starting to see throughout the last year, it's become more and more challenging for buyers and sellers alike. I will say, as far as sellers are concerned, we are not in an environment the way how we did see for the last couple of years where you were able to put a home on the market and do absolutely zero because you knew that you were going to have several buyers coming in and willing to pay top dollar because there was such a shortage in inventory, and also because of the fact that they needed to move because of X, Y, and Z circumstance. So that has changed. The seller's environment right now is, I wouldn't call it 100% a buyer's market. I wouldn't call it 100% a seller's market. I still think that we are in a seller's market. It's just more, it has softened. And so what we're seeing is that as far as my listings are concerned, we're seeing more and more sellers being willing to negotiate. Before, if something was wrong during your inspection, it was hard pressed for a seller to want to do anything because they had, a list of other buyers. They knew that they did not have to acquiesce to absolutely anything, quite frankly, because they already had a bunch of backup offers. Now, I would say that has changed. It's not as crazy as it once was, but we are still seeing an environment where, although prices have adjusted, we're seeing an environment that sellers are more willing to be able to give some concessions to their prospective buyers, whether that comes in the form of repairs, whether that comes in the form of helping them towards, a percentage towards closing costs, or also any prepaids or anything like that. It is a changing environment. So is it really something that, I've been hearing, is the market going to crash? Is the market going to crash? I don't think it's going to crash. And the reason being that as far as statistics are concerned, we are not seeing that. We're seeing that there has been a decrease in mortgage applications from year to date right now. Actually, there was about a 6% decrease within this last week, September 29th. So because of that, you're seeing less people that are coming into the market to be potential buyers. Well, what's happening there is because the interest rates are going up, you have sellers that are not in a position. They could say, okay, I'm going to sell, but I had an interest rate of 3% or 4%. Why am I going to move from this environment and go to another house where I'm going to need a mortgage? And now my mortgage, my interest rate is going to be at an 8%. So that's difficult when you're talking about some sellers. They have no choice. They might have to move because of life circumstances, jobs, etc. And that does happen. It happens all the time. But if you have a seller that is thinking, well, I really don't have to go anywhere, then why would they? So what's happening there is that it's causing, inventory wise, it's not increasing at the rate that they expected it to. So there's not that many homes on the market the way how people were anticipating. Buyers are also needing to kind of move and for job situations, life situations, but now they're looking at less homes. So what happens? Supply and demand. I mean, it's pure economics right now, where you're starting to see an environment where the prices aren't decreasing as much as people thought that they were going to be decreasing. So it's kind of an interesting thing because I know that a lot of people predicted for the housing market to crash. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody quite does. It's a very strange time, I will say that. But as far as what I can say right now, it is a time that people are getting a little bit more creative when it comes to their financing. And it lends the question, is the mortgage negotiable? I actually read an interesting article that was speaking on that. And it talks about, this is actually from a Lending Tree survey of 2,000 consumers. 63% of buyers said that they negotiated on home pricings. That's normal, right? Like when you think about if I'm working with a buyer and we're looking at how many days on the market that other property, the property that they're interested in has been, then you can kind of think, okay, this is based on what's happening in the world and everything else. If a seller, based on their circumstance, we're willing to, come in at X amount. So home prices, that always seems to be the first point of negotiation. Now, what's interesting, only 39% negotiated the initial annual percentage. So that's a big deal because I don't think that that's something that's being spoken about a lot, at least just yet. I know as time goes on and as interest rates have gone up, we are seeing a lot of lenders that are providing different sort of incentives with points to be able to bring down their interest rate. But what we're also seeing here is that it is suggested that buyers should get quotes from at least 3 lenders. So I always suggest for people to go and shop around. And really, that's what it means, is shopping around. But basically, borrowers that have high credit scores and little debt may be the most successful at getting a reduction. So you can actually negotiate, you can try to anyway, negotiate and see if they can do better when it comes to their interest rate, because that's going to directly affect what your monthly mortgage is going to be and what you can afford. So that's something to consider when it comes to this particular market. So what do you guys think? I mean, I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking. I mean, do you think this is all going to be a bust? Is this something that is going to last a long time? Right now, we are technically, as far as Florida climate is concerned, a lot of snowbirds are coming down. I mean, they start coming down in October. The weather is it's doing its thing. I don't even know. Normally, I'm all about this time of year, and we had a nice little cold snap where you got to wear like sweater weather for a day, but didn't really last. So it's still a little humid. It is what it is. It's Florida. What can I say? Nothing makes sense. So right now, we're looking at a lot of people coming in from out of town, and in the Marion County area, we're also talking about Hits is going to start up. You have a lot of great activities coming up for the holidays. All of that is starting to ramp up now. So as people come into the area, yes, it's technically going to be more of a selling environment. So if you are thinking about listing, I'd love to be able to assist you when it comes to that. It's interesting because I know that, this is a time of year things start to get a little bit of an uptick, and then it kind of dies out a little bit during the actual initial holidays when people are just you're moving around, seeing family, etc. It'll start up again next year, and off we go. So, there's a lot of things happening right now. I know that there's a lot of turmoil, which is also causing some buyers to really not want to, come into the home buying environment. Now, I will say, though, that investors are waiting, and investors are starting to come up, and investors are starting to, ask the right questions. And if, because we're not a very cash rich environment right now, they have a bit of the upper hand. I know that they always say cash is king, but there was a time when everybody was coming in with cash because they had 1031 exchanges and because they had sold their properties up north or out west or whatever was the case, and they were very cash rich. But right now, a lot of the market has shifted more into a local market. So you have movement happening in the local arena. And obviously, a lot of those will happen with financing. This is why this is so critical to understand what's happening right now in the market. And I guess there's one more thing that I wanted to do here that we've kind of testing some things out. So hold on one second. Hello, you hear me?
I do.
All right, awesome. Hey, I'm about to wrap up, so I didn't know if you wanted to say a couple of things or where you were at here, just to kind of say hi to the audience.
Well,
As
yeah, I'm not around.
okay,
I'm kind of in town right now, and I was totally prepared about this. Let me see how fast I can make it here. I'll drive. Here
how
now.
did you do that?
It's magic.
It's magic.
Lightning.
I have this really interesting article about chocolate. Here you go.
Well, I'll be darned. Bye. Thanks.
Fun. Bye.
For those of you guys don't know, that is my wonderful other half. So I wanted to end the article or end the show on a particularly strange note. I'm going to go ahead and ruin everyone's day with this, but Consumer Reports urges Hershey's to get heavy metals out of chocolate products. I saw this. I literally lost my lid. I'm like, chocolate? Why are you messing with our chocolate? Like, for real. So apparently they found out they had concerning levels of lead in Hershey's chocolate. Like, they took it out of paint. Why in the heck are they putting it in chocolate? I don't know. I mean, there's got to be better fillers. I bet you it has to do with the net weight. That's all I'm saying. So it says previous tests found Hershey's dark chocolate high in lead and cadmium. So the grand question when somebody says something stupid and you said, are you like eating paint? All they have to say is that they're eating chocolate. So I don't even understand what's happening right now. So I'm thinking this is really either poorly timed or greatly timed, because I know that Halloween is right around the corner, and we're all going to start giving out lead to all of our children. So I don't know what to say about that. All I have to say is that downtown Ocala has this fantastic chocolate place that I know he is an actual like connoisseur chocolate person. I believe it's Confectioners This is like a random plug I just thought about since I have this horrendous article in front of me. But they don't have lead in their products. I'm pretty sure the man works there till like 3 a.m. His name is Norm. He's amazing. So anyway, this weekend, we actually have FAFO going on, the Fine Arts Festival of Ocala. I will be there volunteering as a judge's assistant. I am quite excited. I'm not going to lie. So come and check out downtown Ocala this weekend. I know that a lot of festivals are starting to pop up here and also in the Micanopy area. And this is the time to go outside, frizzy hair, don't care, and be able to enjoy what Marion County and Central Florida has to offer. So this is Maddy Franco here. I am signing off for the day, and hopefully I'll do more of these with less time in between, since I've been scolded by all of my middle school child's friends. And so this goes out to them. And I love you guys, and we'll talk soon. All right, peace out.